days hope died peacefully, out looking for a real reality.
Well, good morning. Welcome to the Boosted Cool Show. This morning we have a guest, Kevin Wolf, who has put together a few things, but one of the most recent things, which is why I invited him into the studio here to have a conversation about a few things. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you. I really appreciate this.
Now, Kevin, you have done some things in the past. You've done, Hush Dimbulb, which is where you really poke fun at right-wing talk radio host, and you've done a couple other things. You've done the Bill and Burt comedy show, sit-down comedy, and then you've also done Dr. Dang. This is really not a political piece so much, but the other two pretty much are. They're social political in one form or fashion. All are comedy. Yet this most recent, what you refer to actually as an Occuplay, and the concept is really brilliant. Now, we're going to expound on that just a little bit here in a minute. But the Occuplay, it's called Life Over Gold. Life Over Gold is really a pretty serious piece, and really, I have to say, kind of brilliant. You know, it really boils it down to its most basic form is what we're really talking about here right now. As it seems as though humankind is really sitting on a precipice of, we're either going to flip or fly, do or die. And I really got to hand it to you. You know, Kevin, this is a very long play as it goes. I mean, we were talking the original play, which we still haven't really released the full play, which is over about 3 hours and 40 minutes, which is just brilliant. But the part that the shorter version is about 2 hours and 40 minutes. And before we get into talking about that, I would like to say that the Occuplay, what that is all about is and we'll talk to you about how this is inspired, but what it really is saying that a person can just perform this just about anywhere. And it's a message. It's a real-life infotainment, if you will, that can be performed right in the parks. And now you come as far as even creating what they call a micro-info Occuplay. Why don't you go ahead and, first of all, explain Occuplays to us, Kevin, and then get in a little bit to the microplays, and then we'll get into actually Life Over Gold.
Well, sure, and thank you again for having me on your show, Boosty. I really appreciate being able to get this the message out. But anyway, yeah, I got the whole idea one evening without even really thinking about it. I got up in the middle of the night, used the bathroom. It was cold as hell out, and I was thinking about the homeless people. I was thinking about a group called the Night Watch or Night Watchmen that helps look over the homeless people on the street so that they don't get the crap beat out of them. And it just came to me. It just, out of nowhere, this whole idea of an Occuplay, boom, appeared in my brain. It was as though somebody just came in and said to me, you know what, we need to get around the bad press and the corporate media. We need to have a positive message out there and something that will actually get people's attention, that where they'll stop and, take notice. And I thought, oh, wow, I don't believe this. A play. And, of course, Occuplay is a combination of putting the Occupy movement, the 99 percenters, with the play. One of the things that's really positive, I think, about a play is that it's three-dimensional. People are so used to seeing stuff on TV and screens, and so when you finally get something that seems real, like people, that's three-dimensional, it really has a way of grabbing people's attention. A play, it puts it into a form it's different than just somebody just outside just chanting, vote for this person, or do this because of that, whatever. No, it puts it in a story. People love stories, and throughout all of humankind, story has been used as a very effective medium to get people to have to put forth an understanding. And so that's where the whole concept of the Occuplay originated. My following it all the way through, is that the Occuplay, I knew that I couldn't just do a script and have thousands of people across the country trying to become all of a sudden instant actors. So the Occuplay, I thought, well, with the advent of YouTube, I can actually perform this, have this already pre-performed on audio and put on YouTube so that people all across America could perform this play just by doing lip syncing. Which, of course, means not actually having to remember the lines and not actually having to talk, but just by mouthing it. And all you need to do this is a park. I always say, just like on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon in the park, get together with a few of your friends, and all you need is a battery-operated amplifier and an MP3 that you download it off of YouTube. And by the way, I'd be happy if I've got a website. We can get to that later, but I can send people CDs. So I thought, this is great because this is something that it can just really, again, be an end run around the media and put this in the hands of all the Occupy people. And something that's really positive, no bad press, no arrest, or no arrest, no bad press, not in your face way of gathering support. Because to me, that was the biggest thing I felt with the 99% movement, knowing, of course, the corporate media, they're going to do everything they can to make it look bad. That's just what they do. I mean, as good as they were and kind and wonderful to the 1% teabagger group, they were just that bad in, the opposite to the 99% movement. Of course, you got 1,000 people, 2 people, get into it with the police, and that's all you see over and over and over again, So it just takes away the message. And it makes people go, I'm not so sure I want to be involved with that group. Of course, here in Portland, any little thing that's ever happened negative since then, well, of course, they were the 99%ers, the Occupy Wall Street people. So the play is a way to do something in a much more mainstream, certainly not in your face sort of thing, which I just got to say, the people in the Occupy Wall Street movement, it doesn't do any good, I don't think, to be writing chalk in front of businesses. Stuff like that is not only sort of childish, but it's off-putting to a lot of people. I get it. I'm all for, I really would like to expose the bastards, and that's what the play does, but it does it in a way that I think people are going to be way more receptive to than seeing chalk in front of a business like, this person stole this person's home. People just shut down. They shut down. And that's huge, because when people put up a wall, you're done. You're finished. Your message isn't going anywhere. Occuplay, of course, I'm very partial to Life Over Gold, but people don't have the wall up. They're like, wow, what is this? And it's a theatrical performance. And so they're like, they're going to stop, and they're not going to have the walls up. And anyway, so that's where the concept came from, was just sort of out of the blue. Just like somebody came and installed it into my brain. I was not thinking of any way to do it. It just happened. And the other aspect of it was that I thought to myself, this is something, of course, that can be duplicated. That was huge. But lastly, I felt it was a much better way to get people involved together. Because without having people support your movement is pretty much dead in the water. And that's the way it is with anything. You've got to have, this is the way I break it down, Boosty. You have to be able to gather the support in order to have the leverage to move what you want move, and to achieve what you want achieved. And without that support, you don't have the leverage, and you're just basically spinning in the wind. And that's what I see has happened to the 99% movement. And I just think this is way too huge. The need to move is so huge that we can't just let it go. We can't just let it fall to the wayside by not giving it a fair shot. And I feel like the Occuplay concept does give this movement a fair shot. And I don't know why, but I have had a hell of a time getting people to understand it. They'll say, oh, I'm not an actor. And it's like, oh, no, that's the beauty of it. You don't have to be an actor. No, it's already been acted for you. All you need, again, is an amplifier, an MP3 player, some way to hook up to YouTube, or I'll send you the CDs, and you just get with some friends, again, and you get into a park and perform it. Also, I realize the play is a little long. Okay, 2 hours and 40 minutes, but... and I'll get back to this, but there's a reason why it takes the length of time that it does. In fact, there's actually even a longer version that I haven't released yet that you've heard, Boosty, but it's still not out into the world. So I've come up with microplays, excerpts from this Occuplay, Life Over Gold. They're like less than 5-minute clips that can be really performed. Here again, if you have a little amplified device, that you can just perform on a street corner. And only 1 or 2 people does it take to achieve this. And if you can just imagine, here again, going to the end run around the media, and the concept of gathering support in people is just to be able to stand on a street corner and do this like a little 5-minute little info micro Occuplay. Now you start adding that up, and it's effective. You know, I know it's effective. I know it's effective because it was used in World War I. They were what they were called, I believe, was called the 4-Minute Men, and there was, I think, at one point about 70,000 of these guys. I'm not sure they're all men, but 70,000 of these people all throughout the United States who would just spontaneously, almost like the flash mobs of today, they would just be on a street corner or in a town square or in a park somewhere, and they would just all of a sudden go into these like less than 4-minute little rants about why Uncle Sam needed you and why you should go and sign up to go fight the Germans, of course, at that time. So it worked. It worked, and so I know that this works. I know that this is an effective tool. Even I would go as far as to say a weapon against the right-wing fascist, corporatist vultures who are coming in for the kill, by the way, and we really do not have time to waste. So, therefore, these plays, and I'm not just talking mine, if you can come up with your own fact-filled way to deliver a message, come up with your own micro Occuplays. Just spread it all around. It gives you a chance to have a little bit of fun. To me, that's a whole other aspect of it. It's a good time. To me, it really beats the marching in the streets, which, here again, all you get there is with the media. They come and they film it, and they try to get the cops to, come on, man, why aren't you beating these people up already, man? You're going to let them block traffic? So, no, they can't do this way. It's like, if the cops come, you're going to, what is it? You're going to start outlawing plays? You're going to start, stopping you from, taking 3 minutes on a street corner to you use your First Amendment freedom of speech. If good luck. How many? If enough people do this, it's just not going to happen. By the way, the cops should be on our side anyway. I don't get it, but whatever. Let's face it. Up to this point, this has not worked, and that's why I'm suggesting we try something fun and very effective. And we know it's fun. Plays are fun. What's not fun about that? And we know it's effective because it's already been done before with the 4-Minute Men, which I encourage anybody to look into that. They don't believe it.
Why don't you go ahead and I'm going to play some clips here just a moment, but why don't you tell us just a little bit, describe the Occuplay Life Over Gold. I just think it's just brilliant, a brilliant concept.
Well, okay, first of all, Life Over Gold. The reason where it all came from was, to me, was like, what is this movement about? What's it about? I don't get it. What do they want? What do they want? It's like, oh, yeah, really? You're kidding, right? Okay, all right. I'll give the devil his due. Maybe people don't really know what's going on, They just think everything's great. Well, anyway, there's something happening here. Apparently what it is ain't exactly clear. So you look at the signs and you say, okay, people over profit. And I thought to myself, I had to really boil it down. If somebody was to ask me, what do you think, man? You're in that 99% movement. What is your goal? What do you want? And I would tell them what I want is life. And I can't speak for anybody else. This is a leaderless movement, so far be it for me to speak for anybody else in the movement. But what I kind of think everybody else is sort of feeling is like I am. that we need to put life ahead of gold. We need to put life of people, yes, and all the life on the planet. That needs to get top priority over gold. Gold, of course, is symbolic of all of the greed, material possessions, money, putting that extra zero at the end of that bank account of a person who already has so much money they couldn't spend it in 1,000 lifetimes. This is destroying us. When a person sells out their fellow man so that they can obtain another, more wealth and obtain another home in some other part of the world. That is what I call a sickness. It's a greed sickness that is as strong as any sickness that, is a sickness just the same as any junkie who has to just have another hit, even if it means destroying his own body. These people have to have more wealth, even if it means destroying the planet that they live on, the body that they reside on, as well as ultimately in. So, therefore, life over gold is, to me, the most boiled down essence of what all of this is about. We have got to shift to wanting life and having life be a priority over gold, or we will die. We are, again, at a tipping point. We are on the brink of extinction. It is real, people, and it isn't for the next generation or the generation. No, it is our generation. This is here right at our feet. So, the play itself, I figure, what is the problem? People don't have any root. They don't understand what the founding fathers of America. I realize this is a much bigger than America, but I had to focus on America. It's what I know the most about. And I figure all politics is local. Certainly let's start at home. So I start with America, and I go back to the beginning with Life Over Gold to the American Revolution. And I definitely hit at what the founders, the fathers of America, what they were all about. The type of government they wanted. It's a republic, but it's a democratic system with socialistic tendencies. For example, the preamble, we, the people, in order to form a more perfect union. That is socialism. We, that means all of us, the people, the common people. Didn't say a select few of filthy rich fascists. No, it says we the people, in order to form a more perfect union, obviously really steering towards unity. I'm seeing something develop here. I think it's called, I would say socialism. Yes, that is what our fathers were. Founding fathers of America were socialists. No denying it. In fact, you don't have to be able to read very much to be able to know. That's what they wanted. And so the unity, as well as so much of this socialism, really, when we talk about libraries being free, education being free, all putting in a little bit for the greater good of all, so that the greater good of all can build upon itself, so that we just become a better and more stronger nation. That is what the founding fathers wanted. That's what they intended. So if you have any other concepts of what America is, you're in the wrong place, man. You've got the wrong idea, and you need to find yourself another country, because this is a country of, for, and by we the people, not of, for, and by we with all the money. The handful, I think there's about 400 people now that have all the money, and it really boils down to about 30. No, that's what we call an oligarchy. That is not a democracy. And our founding fathers wanted this to be a democracy. And see, we spit on them, and we spit on all those who fought and died for this country heretofore, when we do not make sure that it does not become an oligarchy. We must make sure that it stays a democracy. So I have to explain the roots to tether people to what America is really all about, and that is a democracy. It is of, by, for, and we the people. So I start back at that point, the revolution. We have not had. It's the real Boston Tea Party. There is the other thing is crap. This new TBS just makes me furious as an American that anybody would even have the audacity to even label. Anyway, I digress. Then I move right on up to the turn of the last century, 1907, where I speak a little bit about child labor. And I do this for two reasons, because it is to show that these bastards, these vultures, these greed gluttons will take a child and run him into the grave. They will still not only steal a child's childhood and rob them of getting an education, but they will work them into the ground. They don't care if they get sick and they end up with missing limbs. We've seen pictures of the boys in the coal mines, 7, 8, 9 years old, and of course all the children that worked in the textile mills, because they had little hands that were able to get into certain things. They would work these kids sometimes 6, 7 days a week, 14 hours a day, not unlike what people like Phil Knight have capitalized on, but in a country over across the ocean. This is what these greed glutton bastards will do if you let them. And they're really trying so hard to get us back to those days. So it is to demonstrate that there's no ends to what these bastards will do. That's part of it. But the other part is to show the need for unions. And that is, as we go through more of the play, I definitely discuss not only the necessity of unions, but the benefits that it gave America. The stronger the unions, the stronger the middle class, and of course the stronger the middle class, the stronger democracy. And of course the converse of that is true, that if you're the weaker the unions, the weaker the middle class, and the weaker our democracy is, to where it becomes just rife for the greed vultures, the fascist, to come and completely just take it. Like, yeah, no resistance. It's ours now. No, you see, that's the whole thing. This is why they have spent so much time and energy and propaganda to convince people that unions are bad, because to them unions are. Because when people are united and not only in the workplace but as Americans, they're screwed. And when people are not united in America and in the workplace, then the people are screwed. And this play, Life Over Gold, clearly demonstrates that this is absolutely the fact. This isn't just theory. This is fact. It's provable if you look at history. Now, of course, that Republican, fascist, whatever you want to call them, the scumbags, they're trying so hard to rewrite history so fast that, people who don't have a grasp on what really happened are really easily manipulated, like putty by the new propaganda history coming out, which is, by the way, this propaganda, they got 99% of all the talk shows and a lot of the cable. It's like Joseph Goebbels and Charlie Manson, just gotta be envious. If Goebbels was alive, of course, but Manson, it's like, if everybody got upset, I just gotta say something here real quick, Boosty. That, Charles Manson, he never killed anybody. To our knowledge, he never killed anybody. He certainly was, as he was tried, and he's been sitting in prison, ever since 1971 or whatever. But why is he in prison? He did not commit the murders. But these young and impressionable youths, under his spell of his mind control, they went and they murdered people. And Manson's in jail for it. Well, if Manson, and one man, can cause people to go and commit murder and then be found, I guess, guilty of it, then why is it so hard for people to understand that when you have somebody like Rush Limbaugh and, Bill O'Reilly and Sean Hannity and, the cast of clowns, when they're out there just pumping it out every day, pounding it out into these people's minds who really, I must say, aren't any more stable, let's just say, than some of the little helpless wandering children that wandered into Camp Manson. Why would it be so hard for us to understand that they have had their minds brainwashed? To me, I don't see any difference.
Well, I have to say I completely concur with you.
So I run it all through a history as we go to the crash that was caused by the Republicans, the laissez-faire, capitalism, no bounds, and then it goes up into how really FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, saved the day with big government. Really, and I can prove it. It's provable. We wouldn't be here. We would have never ever made it through what they did to us if it weren't for big government and a lot of socialist moves, and this is all proven in the play.
Yeah, but the truth of the matter is, we would have never needed all that big government and all those socialist moves. We would have needed it like it was if it wasn't for capitalism being left to just destroy America because the Republicans were bought and paid for by the fascists back then, just as they are now. None of that would have been needed. Now, Kevin, I'd like to go ahead and just put on a clip there from the play Occuplay Life Over Gold.
Okay, that's great, but before we do that, just for the thread of continuity, as you can tell, what I'm doing here is I'm running from the 1770s up into now the 1920s, and so the whole play is very much like A Christmas Carol. Where they come in with Scrooge and the spirits come in and they take Scrooge on back to the past, Christmas past, and so moving forward. That's what this is. This is the spirit of as it is the spirit of America takes a reporter, an unwitting reporter, on a journey into the past of America's past.
Now I want to just play a little excerpt from the Occuplay Life Over Gold, where the reporter meets the spirit of America.
It's about the future of all life, really, on the entire planet. It's about life over gold.
Life over gold. Life over gold. Life over gold.
What happened? Where am I? What is this place? Help! Help! What happened? Where am I? Help!
Well, hello there. Please relax. There's no need to panic. You've gone back in history some 240 years is all, and...
Don't come near me. Stay back. I warn you. I have mace and I'm not afraid to use it.
Well, I can certainly understand why you'd be frightened. But please be assured you have nothing to be concerned about. If I may introduce myself, I am the Spirit of America, and you have traveled back in time some 240 years. You're just before the start of the American Revolution. All of this is an attempt to help you understand the Occupy Wall Street 99% movement.
Okay, so I inhaled a little too much marijuana and I've probably fallen asleep and I will wake up and everything's gonna be just...
Yes, rest assured you are going to be just fine.
Oh, I get it. This is another one of Todd's tricks. I'm going to sue him for sexual harassment if he keeps this up.
No, please, let me assure you it is no trick, but you are indeed in for a treat.
Yeah, all right, okay, I'll play along. I get paid by the hour, and besides, this is really pretty cool.
Now, we begin our journey just after the real original Boston Tea Party, paying a little visit to Patrick Henry as he makes his most riveting give me liberty or give me death speech.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Shh. Please. And by the way, the play runs all the way, the story runs all the way from 1770-ish to modern time, up to 2012.
Okay, everybody, now this is, the clip I'm going to put on now is about capitalism, as Kevin has here in the play as he speaks to what happened there in the crash of the Depression, the crash that caused the Great Depression. And so, anyways, and it's called, by the way, it's called Drunk on Capitalism. You can find that again, access that at YouTube. All right, here we go.
We are about to see how history just repeats itself. People are too quick to put the past and all its lessons behind them, and therefore they progress at a very sluggish rate. So here we are in the roaring 20s. The 1920s was a racy decade where, thanks to prohibition, illegal booze, organized crime flourished, and so did unchecked and unbridled capitalism.
Wait, Did you say unbridled?
Oh, you know, unregulated. Let capitalism do its own thing. Give it the freedom to chart its own course. After all, this is America, the home of the brave, the land of the free. So like booze, or alcohol to you, in some underground speakeasy, a bar, capitalism flowed, and like booze, capitalism is best consumed in moderation. And like booze, capitalism will deceive people into believing too much is never enough, until the spinning starts and the economic system begins to collapse and eventually throws up all over Main Street after it crashes. Yes, after 3 terms of Republican let the markets, capitalism, and greed run free. In 1929, the stock market crashed the American economy. Sound familiar?
Yes, well, I suppose you're going to blame what happened in '08 on George Bush and the Republican Party.
You bet your bippy. Yes.
So how long do you plan on blaming George Bush and the Republicans for everything that went wrong?
For as long as it was their fault. Now, back to the first Republican-caused crash. Seeing that capitalism was going to need to be regulated if it was going to be allowed to stick around, the next president, who just happened to be a Democrat, passed the Glass-Steagall Act in 1933.
By the way, I just want to tell people, if you're going to YouTube, sometimes you might be better off just, first of all, just don't even worry about YouTube. Just put in your Google search, Life Over Gold, and from there, it will take you to YouTube. And then from YouTube, if you can get it to any of the Life Over Gold Occuplay clips, there, if you look down in the information little section, there's links to all of this stuff. So don't waste time, searching around YouTube. Sometimes it can be, sometimes it doesn't always make sense. I want to say, too, that right there, that is an excerpt, of course, from the Occuplay Life Over Gold. And I've got about a dozen or so of those, and those make perfect little micro info Occuplays. And, of course, I want to also say right now, speaking of micro info Occuplays, which can be performed on any street corner, they're all, should be around 5 minutes or less. All you need is an amplified device and, be able to lip sync. And you're doing it. You're actually doing a play. But I don't want people just... To me, of course, I want everyone to hear Life Over Gold. Because I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think it was important and necessary. And I didn't want people to hear it. Of course, I want everyone to hear it. But I also want to encourage everyone to think about doing their own Occuplays. Even, of course, I think at the very, start out maybe doing a micro Occuplay mine just to get familiar with being out there and kind of doing the spontaneous little thing. But also then taking it to the next level of doing your own thing with your, of course, I obviously would say stay with facts, but do it all in story and get the message out there across to anybody passing by. If one of just one person here and there doing it, it'll make a little difference. But if a lot of people start doing this, literally thousands of people start doing this, and like every day, if we had like 20, 30,000 people across America, and just every one of them did it just one a day, I can guarantee you, I know this, I've already covered this, but it will make a difference, and it will be a fantastic end run around the corporate media. And here again, great way to have fun. Well, absolutely. And that's what I was saying. Of all the things I've ever heard, I think it's the most brilliant, really, that I've ever... Not just the concept of Occuplay, but the Occuplay itself, Life Over Gold. It covers, like you're saying, it tethers people in America to history that I think is so important, because if you don't realize where you come from, you don't understand your roots, you're just real easily swayed and blown away. And so that, I think that was a brilliant concept to, first of all, try to tie people in that way. And then really what you say is, you cover the whole idea of where socialism versus fascism. You could not have a better example than what has already occurred. We're seeing this all unfold. It's already unfolded. It was what we're seeing. We've already seen this show, if you will, with the Republicans completely crashing everything because capitalism just got so out of control, and then America gets strong again and saved by big government, which is what they're trying to destroy. By the way, big government is we the people. We are the government. And when you have people like that Grover Norquist out there saying, hey, we wanna make government so small we can shrink it to the point where we could drown it in a bathtub. Well, what he's really saying is we want to make it so that people have no voice and we can just drown them out of the equation. So when you go in and what you're doing there is just taking real truth and actual history and showing how a man like Franklin Delano Roosevelt, using a lot of socialism and big government, saved us from the jaws of complete destruction of the fascists. And fascism, and is it any wonder they're trying to destroy his legacy? And is it any wonder that they have worked so hard on destroying the unions, which, of course, your play speaks to both so well and so theatrical and eloquently.
Well, thank you. And yes, you're absolutely right. As far as this has already, we've seen this movie before, where the unchecked greed and unchecked capitalism almost all but did us in. And as it is now, of course, I feel like in a way things did not get. We'd almost be better off if things got worse, because people not really feeling it, not really hitting the soup lines. It's easy for them to go, Obama's just not getting things turned around fast enough. We'll try somebody else. It's like American. Anyway, I know we only have so much time here, so I want to keep moving here. As the rest of it, you just can go check it out. It just brings us all up to modern time, starting from 1770s up to present time is what the Occuplay Life Over Gold is covers in terms of the history. And of course, all through it, there's a lot of points that are made.
Right now I'd like to play that little excerpt, which is in the Occuplay Life Over Gold by the Occupy rap group known as Q. That's the song Wall Street Attitude Rap.
And now, let's give it up for Q and his Wall Street Attitude Rap.
Your greed is good.
Your greed is good. Don't try to tell me it isn't. Whiny Wall Street occupiers just don't like being peasants. No.
They're just a bunch of losers.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of losers trying to save the bleeding nation by trying to end Wall Street's cannibalization.
Don't pay them any mind.
So the rest of you losers don't pay them any mind. They're just fighting for your children's future. Waste of time. Oh, what a waste of time. Waste of time. Your future, like your money, has already been spent. And surprise, surprise, your government don't give a shh.
Wall Street lines the politicians' pockets.
Yeah, Wall Street lines the politicians' pockets. And it's money well spent.
Yeah, it's money well spent.
Cause it assures the rich get even richer off of you. The 99%.
The 99%.
Shh. Don't tell the talking heads on the TV and the radio. Cause they don't know, yo.
Don't tell the talking heads.
I said shh. Don't tell the talking heads on the TV and the radio. Yeah. Let's give it up for Q, yeah. Yeah, Boosty, that was my first crack at rap. It was all right. It was fun. I think I could rhyme and song all day long, though. It's enjoyable. Would that make me crazy?
Well, probably. Well, you've done almost everything else. You impersonate about 100 singers and at least that many people and characters. And I've heard you. You sound just like them. Yeah, everyone from Waylon Jennings to Frankie Valli. I mean, seriously, you're really remarkable talent. You're probably the most talented person I've ever met. You might even be the most talented person on the planet. I had to have you back here at my show and explore your vocal talents.
I'd like that. That'd be fun.
All right, let's get back on track here.
America, this is a democracy. This really involves participation. This is what I call and I have this in the play, one of the titles, in fact, one of the excerpts that's pulled it's a do-it-yourself government. This is well, if I can stop you right there, I'd like to play that clip. That is the other clip that I already had in mind that I wanted to play before we wrap up for today. Yeah, sure, okay.
And while we're waiting for that to rack, do you have anything you'd like to say right at this juncture?
Well, I would like to say that is, to me, what do-it-yourself, that's what the 99% Occupy Wall Street, that's what they're doing. They're out there getting active, and my only thing is I just think there's a better way to do it these days than marching in the street and writing, chalk messages in front of businesses. That's because here again, the corporate media will, everything that the 99% movement uses, or does, they use it to beat them over the head.
Okay, I think here we go. I think it's racked. Again, it's called DIY Governance. If you go to YouTube and get to any of the Life Over Gold, all you have to do is hit the show more, and then you can take it on down there, and you'll see where it says See Excerpt. And this one, again, is DIY Governance.
We, the people of America, are still responsible for seeing to it that the laws are upheld and laws are followed. This is a do-it-yourself government and governance, as it is a democracy. You cannot just stand by and think that all will be well. You must interact with your government. The Founding Fathers gave to the American people the most magnificent thing, a democracy of, by, and for we the people. Think of it like a fantastic cruise ship, something that, most of the world can't imagine. Well, the beauty of this cruise ship was that you could go anywhere you desired, but you don't just get on board and go hang out in the lounge. No, a democracy requires the participation of all those on board to steer her. As a democratic nation, you must stand beside her and guide her. This to ensure that she does not run adrift or aground, and to see that she stays true to the course of ideals for which she aspires, and those ideals for which she was birthed. Yes, a democracy really requires all hands on deck, be it calm or stormy weather. And at no time should the people aboard her ever let their guard down as to the possibility that there might be pirates who would love to get on board and hijack her. America has been hijacked, and she is being looted and plundered as I speak. But it is as though people think as long as they still have TV in their room, all is well. And they are either drunk or deluded, for they think just because other passengers are being made to walk the plank, they will never be made to. Well, thankfully, those people in the Occupy Wall Street 99% movement are engaging, and they are ready to take the ship back from the pirates. And those people who are in the corridors, who are like, oh, what's going on here? Oh, dear me. What are these people doing? I mean, really, can't they just go and settle down, go back to your rooms? Please don't rock the boat. I have no idea where we've been. I have no idea where we're going, but your activity is making me uncomfortable. I'm so used to not having to think whatsoever. Please go back to your rooms and be quiet. Their lack of willingness to give a damn about their future and about their country is really quite overboard. And to that, one day, not too far in the future, if they do not participate and get engaged themselves, they will be screaming out for a life jacket, and none will be given, they won't be able to afford, and they will drown right alongside democracy.
That's exactly right. I could not have said it better.
Well, thank you. Yeah, well, I really appreciate that. I appreciate all of this so much. I think it's important that this gets out there.
I do too. I couldn't agree more. This is probably one of my most important shows I've ever had. I just wish I had a little broader reach so I could really get this information out to people. We're running kind of short of time here. Before we go, would you, anything you'd like to wrap this up with? Any thoughts you have?
Well, yes, of course. First of all, I'd like to say in a word, just want to do like single words here. First of all, what we have right now is unsustainable. That's all there's to it. We got to change the course. It is unsustainable, the course that we are on. And the other word is the new course, the new way of life, a system that puts life over gold, is obtainable. A system where the system works for we the people instead of just we the people working for the system. It is obtainable. Yes, but we must go after it. We the people must make sure that it happens. We are all we have, but we are enough if we all gather and we all start to gain the leverage to make the change and put these sick greed gluttons into a hospital of some sort where they can get some help for their sickness, because it's killing all of us and it's killing all life on the planet. Also, people, I think one of the biggest things I see with people, and I appreciate, like, there's the commercials, for example, maybe we can, Race for the Cure, for example, these things for cancer or diseases, this is all wonderful. But if we do not make the single biggest change, and that is where we really put life over gold, where we really stop being so consumed by consumerism and we're letting the love of money rule. All this stuff is irrelevant. And people, you keep having kids and you keep not giving a damn about their future and seeing in the big picture. What are you doing? So I get really frustrated by that. So people just break out a little bit out of your little comfort zone and realize that this race for the cure and all these curing diseases and stuff, while absolutely incredibly awesome and noble and wonderful, really we need to race for the cure of this greed disease first, before, above all, I should say, because if we don't cure the disease of greed, all these other things, it's irrelevant, as they're poisoning our waters and as they're poisoning our food and deregulating and all these I could go on and on, but I know time is short and I really do have to want to wrap this up for sure. But lastly, people who are selfish, and I do believe this is a big problem. We not only have the greed gluttons out there, but we have the selfish. People are selfish in terms of they just want to watch the football games, or they just want to play games, or they just want to shop. They really kind of are self-absorbed into self. That's the other part of the equation. People, you need to start caring about other people. And that's what comes out in the play. I bring that out, that when you care about others, you're really caring for yourself. And when the more selfless you are, the more you really are benefiting yourself. So people, we've got to turn that, we're upside down with that. So that's a whole other aspect of the play, is that, just to take a sort of a meme, if you will, that let's strive for the day where a person their value is measured by what they give, not by what they get or have. When that happens, we are going to have paradise on earth. But that's to say, if that happens. If we don't change the way we think, we're not going to ever get there. And I want to just quickly quote Kennedy, who said that he believed that all problems that are caused by humans, essentially, this is not a direct quote, can be solved by humans. And to that I say, to the Occupy Wall Street movement. We are the solution. We are who we have been waiting for, and we have arrived. So let's not let this pass without giving it every bit of a fight that we can. And I absolutely believe that a great way to do that is to do the Occuplays. And of course, obviously, I think Life Over Gold is a great place to start. And so I guess that'll have to wrap it up for me, because as you know me already, Boosty, I could talk forever.
Yeah, well, I can listen to you forever, I tell you. Okay, folks, we're gonna call it a wrap here. We're gonna have to wind things up. We only have about another minute left, but I want to tell everybody, not only you go in the search bar, put in Life Over Gold, all that, but there's a terrific website where the people, if you want, you can actually get the script to Life Over Gold, and that is at this really awesome website. It's new, it's just in its infancy, but hopefully it'll evolve. Evolving is what it's all about. Will evolve into something really terrific, and that website is Hub, H-U-B, of O-F-L-I-B-E-R-T-Y. That's hubofliberty.org. And you can go there and you can access the script, as well as find all kinds of credible information, quotes, and links to pretty much anything that could be sort of, something that would be really useful to mankind is right there on the Hub of Liberty. And of course, it's all pro-liberty, where it's really at. We the people. It's a We the People. It's a really, truly, it's a true We the People website. Here again, it's new, so he's just trying to get it going here, start to kind of put the things in place where people can blog and all that. So, anyway, folks, thank you so much here, and thank Kevin here for being our guest, Kevin Wolf, the author and creator of Life Over Gold, which, by the way, I have to say, he does all the voicing in this. He does all the voicing and all his stuff. Hush Dimbulb, you did the voicing, all that, every bit of that, didn't you? Same thing with Dr. Dang and Bill and Burt Comedy Show. Every bit of the writing and the voicing is from this remarkable person, I say, Kevin Wolf. All right, folks, thank you so much for tuning in to the Boosty Cool Show. Of course, tune in tomorrow, same time, same channel. And in the meantime, go out and occupy everywhere.